Welcome back to Marc Smells Bacon, the only place where we break down police and private citizen debauchery with sarcasm and side-eye. Today we're talking about the civil unrest in Los Angeles. Oh, the city of angels, where the traffic never moves, the rent is ridiculous, and the Dodgers spent $500 million on Shohei Ohtani just so he could pitch in, eventually. Why? Because the federal government thought it'd be a great idea to send ICE agents like it was a 90s action movie, grabbing undocumented folks off of porches while skipping the whole community relations part. Unsurprisingly, people weren't thrilled. So they took to the streets to protest what they saw as a politically timed crackdown targeting immigrant families. And honestly, they have a point. But of course, this is America, so it didn't take long for the peaceful protest to turn into people throwing bricks at cop cars while live streaming it on TikTok. It looks like a new Michael Bay movie where infrastructure gets destroyed. LAPD and the Sheriff's Department in a citywide tackle alert. Shields, batons, tear gas, and rubber bullets. The rookies are thinking, we definitely rehearsed this in training. The veterans, who've seen this before, are wishing they were much closer to retirement as they rifle through their patrol car trunks looking for their department-issued gas masks. Oh, President Trump deployed the California National Guard against Governor Newsom's wishes, and Marines from Camp Pendleton are on standby because nothing calms a tense situation like tanks and troops in fatigues blocking intersections, while the internet's calling for armed Asian roof guys from the 1992 LA riots to return to defend businesses. The cops say they're protecting the city. The protesters say they're defending and exercising their rights. The looters say nothing because they're too busy pulling a 65-inch TV through a busted window at Best Buy. Buckle up. This one's got protests, riot shields, federal agents, and enough firearms and explosions to be mistaken for unrest anywhere else in the world, as featured on Al Jazeera. We start with some footage from one of the 40 news helicopters doing orbits around the LA chaos. LAPD officers and vehicles responding to protesters quickly see that they did not need to be in that intersection, except one determined black and white. His buddies bounce. His buddies fall back to regroup, the lone black and white getting pummeled by bricks and bottles, the standard issue tool of the trade of ass clowns. Patrol cars return at a much higher speed than expected by the crowd, a crowd disbursement technique that works quite well, because a vehicle versus pedestrian crash doesn't end well for those not in a car. Next, we hit the streets with the media, most of whom are dressed in attire reminiscent of wartime coverage by CNN. Australian news reporter Lauren Tomasi in the middle of the mix to get the shot and the story. With LAPD police behind her in the shot, she tells the story. What you don't see is what is or isn't happening behind the camera. One officer on the left, whether attempting to address an issue behind the camera in the crowd or wanting the reporter to be gone, cranks a rubber bullet downrange. Unsure of who the intended target is, a reporter finds out firsthand what that experience is like. LAPD issuing limps out to the crowd like junior police badge stickers in a 5th grade dare class. This is why you wear appropriate identifying press clothing when covering civil unrest. Further investigation by the team here at Bacon Central, the reporter is fine and reported later in the evening from the same intersection. Next, we see just the lengths camera operators and stringers are going in order to get the sensational shots for sale to the evening news. LAPD, unfazed by the crowd, poses for the upcoming cover of Police Illustrated, Riot Edition, holding flashbangs, 40mm less than lethal grenade launchers with tear gas and smoke as the backdrop. These boys and girls in blue are going to do their level best not to file a workman's comp claim. Numerous arrests are made and the crowds are pushed back. To where? Nobody knows. California National Guard enters the chat. Against the wishes of LA and California leadership, it is seen as an escalation by locals and a necessary step by federal officials. News reports of Camp Pendleton Marines on standby to back up the National Guard, just like the Rodney King riots. I think we're going to need a more precise definition of reasonable and necessary. I found the crowd, with traffic at a standstill on the 101, way more rideshare autonomous vehicles end up caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. If they were transporting customers, it is unclear. Looks like someone forgot to enable avoid riots when they programmed the Jaguar I-Pace GPS to avoid toll roads. Looks like I should have invested in Rust-Oleum stock last week, as Waymo's parent company Alphabet, aka Google, stock's price seems unaffected by losing at least two $150,000 vehicles in the chaos. Protesters migrated to the 101 freeway, which I don't get, as traffic there usually looks like a Trader Joe's parking lot. But here we are. CHP covering the freeways as part of a joint effort to control the crowd and ensure the safety of the motoring public join LAPD officers attempting to control the uncontrollable and unhinged crowd on foot on the freeway. Their police Tahoes coming under fire from the overpass. The scene resembles something more like my time doing contract police work in Haiti versus the 101 in LA. And from what I can only assume is avocados from Mexico drops 2 on a CHP vehicle, which airbags seem to have already deployed. Glad those aren't CHP's new specially marked patrol vehicle Dodge Durangos, because reporting to the captain at the end of your shift you have new damage to your patrol car sucks. I'm not sure the damage seen here is gonna buff out. Coming soon to govdeals.com. Several used police Chevy Tahoe SUVs, tear gas scented air freshener included. Now let's go to U.S. House of Representative Maxine Waters on the ground in LA.
I thought so that the president wants to institute martial law.
Representative Waters, who rates U.S. Secret Service security as a member of Congress, is on the street supporting her constituents.
If he is trying to intimidate and scare us, it's working. With these guys out here with guns. Look at this. Take a look at this. Show this. Look at this.
It's not what you want. I don't see you here.
Look. Why do you have guns?
Asking armed guards why they have guns is like asking a firefighter why they carry hoses. Ma'am, they're guards. The clue's kind of in the job title. It's kind of like asking why you hold press conferences you didn't prepare for. I bet she doesn't ask her Secret Service details stupid questions. Let's hope everyone involved in exercising their right to free speech can do so without violence and unrest, and that the people charged with public safety can stay safe.
Many protests across the city have been peaceful.
In the words of Eddie Murphy from 48 Hours,
anybody else want to live